Hey everybody. If you could give me a wave just to let me know that you're here and can hear me. I have a new mic system today and I want to make sure it's working well enough to keep using it. I also have a little friend with me today who may or may not interrupt. She's pretty active right now. Hi. So if she interrupts, I apologize, but she's pretty cute. Today I'm going to be working on onions, like the purple red onions. They're just really fun. Hi, Ward. Ward, you can hear me okay? I purchased a new mic system because I did not like the feedback on the previous mic system. Okay. And there's no echo or anything. Thanks, Ward. I appreciate you. All right, so I did this earlier, and I did this one earlier. We're definitely going to work on these with some sketches. Yay! Thank you so much for that feedback. I appreciate it. But before we do, let me just go through supplies I'm going to be using today. Of course, per usual, you can expect this live to be reposted. Oh, hold on. The cat's got the collar stuck around her mouth again. Okay. I will be replaying this live on YouTube as soon as the live comes through and downloads and all that good stuff. I usually post the footage raw, just like the vegetables I'm going to paint today. And yeah, so it's great to go back and watch, especially if you can't stick around for all of this. That's totally fine. The paints I'm using today are my Meeden paints. And the paper I'm using today is Bao Hung. And, cold press. This is a 5x7. 100% cotton, and then I'm just going to use some of my Meeden brushes today. I am changing it up a little bit today. I'm going to use some of my pastel pencils. These are Stabilo, and they're also in my shop today. These are really fun, but these are legit pastels. They're not colored pencils. They do have oil products in them, so they'll be the last thing that I do for today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a very clean, almost yellow vibe to start this onion. So over here in my palette, I like this color a lot. I think that might be a good way to start. I'm just going to add a lot of water to it though, because it dried in my palette. The more water I add, the more clear or white this will turn out to be as I paint it. And then when it dries, it'll be really light. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to that. Warm that up a little bit. I very rarely clean my palette. I feel like it's a waste if I do. That being said, that's a personal problem. Don't ever feel like you can't clean your palette. I just wanted you guys to know why it's so messy. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down with a couple of circular shapes. We're going to do the outside of a red onion and we're going to do the inside. This is kind of my reference right now. And it's nice to just have a photo to look at while you're working and don't feel like you're obligated to create whatever that photo exactly is as you're working. But I wanted you to kind of know. Let me do this though. I want to move this stuff down a little bit more and turn this that way. Okay, that feels a little bit better. I don't want to keep crossing my arm over the piece as I'm working. Okay, so we're just going to throw down, I don't sketch very much, but we're just going to throw down some water and paint from my palette. And I'm just going to fill this in with a bit more water from my brush washer and make it a little bit more round. Sometimes when that happens, if you put down a shape that does not look super circular, I would like to encourage you and remind you that most plants are not perfectly shaped. They're not perfectly round. They're wonky. Mother Nature impacts them in their growth cycle. So don't ever worry about making things wonky. It's totally fine. This one's going to be a slice, and then I'm going to do another slice kind of back here as well. And I'm going to just put some water in there. And then I can build up some of those details and shadows later on. The goal of this is to more or less kind of create some of those, what the composition is going to look like. So I like going down real light with my composition to start. And then we'll do like, so I'm looking at this one. I like that we've got like the little top on it. I might even add a little bit of green to that. Thanks for the follow, Breezy. I'm going to go ahead and add that on here when I make my little onion. I think I'm going to keep this to 3, so 2 slices, and then my big onion bulb. The funny part about this, oh, you're so welcome. The funny part about this is I don't actually like red onions, but I love painting them, especially in my loose style. They're really fun to paint. All right, I'm going to give this a little bit of a squared off bottom, and then I'm going to build up the top a little bit. And then I'm going to pull this up, kind of give it a little rusty little tail edge, and then I'm going to definitely have some greens popping up here as well. I'm debating if I should make this rounder though. Oh, hey, friend, how are you? Thanks for the heart, me, Alexis. And happy last day before school starts. I feel for you, friend. You know I do. I'm just going to add a few tones to create some of these circular patterns that we're going to see inside this little onion. It's still pretty wet, so it's going to blend out. Also going to add in some purple tones. Now I have a leftover purple up here. I'm just wetting it down and throwing it in. We're not trying to be precious. We're just playing. We're figuring out our thing. We're figuring out what works for us. This is going to be all filled in with purple colors anyway. So just drop some of that light watery purple in there. Over here, I'm going to go around the outside a little bit. Most of these really light colors are not even going to show when I'm done. I'm just putting these pigments in to remind myself of what I'm painting, first of all. Second of all, it's to kind of give me guidance about shadow work as I go. Now this is me just adding in some green at the top to the watery red mix that I initially put in here. And then kind of building off of that as well. It's okay to let that green bleed. What container are you mixing in? It looks like a great size. Okay, so this is, you mean this? Is this what you're talking about? Or are you talking about my water container? So this palette here comes with the paints. It's my Meeden paints. I'll just pin it so you can see what it looks like. They come in different amounts. I actually just messaged Meeden today and said, hey, what do I do if I'm running out of a particular paint? Like this one, can you see? This one right here. I'm going to be out of that paint probably within the month because I use it all the time. Oh my God, my cat is right in my face. And so I'm like, do you have like tubes? Do you have tubes that I can like refill it with? I don't think they sell them individually, but I do think they do sell tubes. So I did reach out to them and ask them because I'm definitely going to want to refill on that green, that's for sure. Yeah, no problem. I was actually talking to my friend Bindi the other day, and we've been painting a long time. And in doing so, we have our opinions about paint palettes, right? Like we know what we like, and we knew going into this that Meeden had good paper, but we had no idea if we were going to like the paints. And quite honestly, I love these paints. I use them all the time, all the time. So, I mean, as a person who's been painting quite a while, 5 years, and for those of you who aren't familiar with me, I'm entirely self-taught. I taught myself during the pandemic, took a lot of online classes and courses. I've bought all the art supplies, so many art supplies. My husband was having a panic attack back in 21. I was buying so many art supplies because he's like, what are you going to do with all this stuff? I'm like, create with it, duh. And he's like, yeah, but like, what are you doing? Okay, now I'm actually talking to my cat. I just like you all to see what's happening right next to me. Do you see this? Dear God, please don't lick things. Just hang out, okay? Just hang out. We gotta fix you. You're so like gooey. She's going to the vet this week. She definitely has some allergy stuff happening. All right, I'm just throwing in a bit more of that purple. And still looking back at my reference page as I go. She is my helper, sort of. Actually, I would argue she's not my helper. She's just a lovely little creature to entertain me. And honestly, she's probably the most friendly adorable, sweet, patient cat I've ever had. And we rescued her last week. I love this paint, Alexis. It's really good. The greens especially are my favorite. I feel like they're super granulated. And they give a really nice, like, granulated look to them. Like, even if you look at this right here. I just want to point that out. Do you see how, like, all that separates on there into to its different tones? That's what I really like about it. I do feel like the pigments are pretty, I don't know what to say. Like, just, I feel like they're not so obvious. They are layered, let's put it that way. I'm a fan. So when I'm not using, per se, my handmade paints, which I do love my handmade paints, I definitely pick this one up, probably more than I pick up any of them. Thanks for all the follows, guys. Alexis, I know you love this one. Yeah, this one's pretty good. Let's see. So these trays actually come out. This is a really good question. These trays actually come out. I'm sorry, my cat's like laying on the paint right now. She's like inspecting them for me. Come out. This is a really good question. These trays actually come out. I'm sorry, my cat's like laying on the paint right now. She's like inspecting them for me. In this phone call. I want to like zoom in here. Do you see how they're in like squares? The squares, not just the paints, but the actual square comes out in sixths. So this is its own little six square, and you can pull it out, and you can actually use the other side of the palette as well. Initially, this set I was looking at came in a set of 96. Like, there were more colors on this side, but I was like, I don't need that much paint. I have enough paint. I'm good. But now I kind of regret my choice. I want to kind of maybe contemplate the other, side. But in the meantime, I don't really need it. I have so much paint. It's ridiculous. Okay, so I'm letting that kind of go. I'm going to add some more green because this is still kind of spreading. Please note there's not a ton of water on this page because the paper is soaking it up. Oh my God, Kitty, I'm going to kick you off this desk. You're killing me, mans. You're killing me. Okay, hang on. I got to get rid of it. I love her, but she can't stay up here. It's too much. See how like grainy that paper is? When I put the water on, it like soaks up the paint and the water, and it just kind of sits in its own, like, it's kind of like a sponge. So it's not super puddly, but it does still have water in there, and it will like create these really beautiful blends. So let me just add a little pink in here, and I'll show you what I mean. I'm gonna zoom this out a little bit more. So if I add just a little bit of pink there, do you see it spreading? Isn't that so cool? I'm gonna add it down here too. I definitely want a little bit more in here because this is the one that's already kind of, it's the colored bulb, right? I am leaving some of this space open though, because I want there to be a bit of a light value in this onion. I'll do it in here too. Now this is pretty dry up here, so you can see it's not spreading as much, but if I go inside, let's see. Oh, it is pretty dry in here too. Look at that. It's not as humid today. So I'm just gonna go around in little circles. I'm not gonna go around and connect them. I'm just gonna go around and make like semi-circle marks around the onion. It's all dry anyway, so. And then it starts to kind of create that really beautiful little inside of these purple onions. I'm gonna zoom this out so you can see, there we go. And then if this is still wet, obviously, I'm just gonna blend it a little bit. Do want to make sure I'm hitting up all the questions. Don't touch this brush, Kitty. I'm going to add some water to this to soften this up. It's not going to destroy the painting. Yes, the water will move the pigment, but it's not going to move it so much that it disappears unless you go in and you like really like push that pigment around. It just kind of gives the lines a bit of a softness, which is incredibly appealing. I'm going to come in here and add some more pigment. I might even add a bit of a darker red, especially near the bottom. Don't you touch that paint, Kitty. No. No, don't touch it. Definitely needs to be a bit more pigment down here. So I'm just going to push that in here a little bit. It looks pretty messy, but that's okay. I'm just going to blend it up. And if anything ever gets super out of control where you're like, oh, I lost it, it's a disaster, you can always lift your paints. And lifting is when you put your brush down and you start to move your paint back into your brush. And then if you're like, I don't want to waste my paint, just throw it somewhere else, like right there. And then because it's still dry, it creates almost like a dry brush effect. Like I'm going to come over here and pull this up a little bit. And then over here, just use it in this section, right? And then it gives more of that 3D effect, which is super fun. The brush washer I'm using is also Meeden. It's very convenient, but it does stain. So if you do happen to find interest in this, I do really like it. Like you basically fill the tank with water and then it empties out into the bottom, which obviously looks really gross and disgusting, but it's easy to clean. And then, but obviously the only problem with it is it does stain with the paint because it's plastic, but it's very convenient. So if anybody had any questions about that, that's kind of how that works. And sometimes I use it and sometimes I don't. Honestly, the most annoying part of it is when I have to carry it from the kitchen here and it is like this top part is empty and this is all full and I'm trying not to spill water everywhere. But that's because my art space is not close to a kitchen sink. Okay, I'm debating here if I'm going to add anything else. I might heighten up this green a little bit and maybe soften up some of that purple line right in there. And I'm just going to water that up so it blends out into the green a little bit more. Oh my God, kitty. These centers are usually pretty white, so I'm just going to grab a little bit of white. It's not really necessary, but I do want to just remind myself to keep that untouched. And I can go in with mixed media later and even make that a little bit whiter as I go. Let's add some more green. That's definitely something I wanted to do. Oh, thank you so much. That's so kind. I appreciate you. Kurt, how are you? Pull up some of these leaves. And pull that in here. And then down here, we're gonna have like more little green thready roots coming off the bottom. Probably could be using a smaller brush than this, but I just don't care. And I could also add some yellow to that, I think. Just to not make it so dark. Kind of like that. Thanks for the follow. Oh my gosh, Kitty is very much helping right now. She is, oh, I'm gonna try not to disturb her too much. She is in her nap mode. Look at her. She's such a cutie, isn't she? She's killing me. She's killing me. But the kids aren't home today, so part of it's that. Like, part of it is she just doesn't want to be alone. And the kids usually are running around with her. And the other cats want nothing to do with her. And the dogs like her, but the dogs are in nap mode right now, so she doesn't have anybody to play with. I'm just adding some darker tones to the bottom. And I'm definitely, oh, that's so kind. I appreciate you, Kurt. I'm definitely adding a little bit of like where I might add some line work later on. Like that. And I'm still in the wet on wet phase. It is drying. Some of this is drying, but some of this is still wet, like especially on the bottom here. So I am kind of playing into that a little bit. And then using some brush strokes around. There is a lot of ugly phase in watercolor where it doesn't usually, the first layer is never usually enough. Like the first layer of watercolor can be the most satisfying in the moment, but almost always it ends up looking dull. Like even if you look over here, you see this spot right here? That's pretty light. And I went down light, but I didn't go down that light. And sometimes that can be confusing afterwards because you're like, I thought it looked good when I put the paint down. Well, yeah, it did, but it's not going to dry that way. And especially depends on the paper that you're also using. Oh, I love that bleed right there. That's really satisfying. Aw, I bet you do. Is it biomorphic? I bet you have layers like an onion. Do you make people cry too? Okay. A little bit more green up in here. I did change my green tone a little bit. I think the best thing you can do when you're going in your second layer is either picking a warmer or a cooler tone to your original colors, and then, or even a darker pigment and adding it in as contrast. So like if you look into this section here, you can see that the brownish watery color that we put on the layer to begin with is still there. It's very much hiding now underneath most of this onion, but it was a really good start. And you can still see it even in these circles. I'm actually debating if I should put another onion here, like behind that. Let me show you how I did that one more time. I think I won't mess this up if I do it. I think they look cute. I'm just going to add some water and spread it around. And I'm going to build up this color to look like these two, or I hope I am. And I added some purple to this, I believe. Oh, I think I added a lighter purple, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. And then just some extra little, looks like there's some purple happening in there. Yeah, it looks cool, right? Carry on? I agree. I'm happy with it so far. Let's add a little bit of pink. Ooh, that's way too heavy. See this? See how it's got like a drip? Do you see the drip? Like it's almost too much. I don't want that on my brush. I can't control what's going to happen there. I want my brush to maintain its shape, look like it has wet and paint on it. I don't want it to look like it's dripping. That's going to make it go a little too bonkers for me. I'm not interested in that. And there are some brushes that do that more than others. This set of blue ones can do it sometimes, this Meeden set. The Meeden that I love using that does not do it at all, as far as I could tell, is this set. These are the quills. I like these, though, because they're smaller. But these are the quills, and I love the quills so much. But not this. I don't use this big one as much. I'll show you if there are still more in here. I pull out my brushes all the time. Like, this is another one from Meeden. I use this one all the time for details. But sometimes I just want this, like, real pointy out of the gate brush. And I do like these, but sometimes it does have an extra, it holds a little bit more water than I want. Okay, let's come back into this one. I'm going to add a few more dark bits. It's still wet. I can still see it's a little bit wet. See how it's a little bit wet? It kind of just spread out right there. Do you see that? And you can see it's kind of bleeding out a little bit from the spots that are a little bit wet, and that's okay. It takes practice to feel that kind of control. And make this a little bit darker and maybe a little bit more purpley. So just so you know, I'm over here moving back and forth between this tone and this tone, and then kind of mixing it together. So if I grab a little bit of this, add some water, and then grab a little bit of this, add some water, it just purples up that pink a little bit. Not too significantly, but enough. And then I kind of go back and forth between those two tones. I'm going to add a little bit more of darker tones in this part because it is tucked underneath. I'm still trying to leave that open though. That middle section, I'm really trying to leave that open. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna let this dry. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm gonna get my heat gun out. So my heat gun, for those of you who are unfamiliar with heat guns and how they work. Hi, Bake Art to Go. This is my Chandler heat gun. I only recommend this if you are actively engaged in art and have been doing it for a while and are looking for something convenient, or you're doing online tutorials. You can have it if you're not doing those things, but this is super convenient for me. Like when I'm here and I want to finish up this painting while I'm with you, I can really just 30 seconds on and it's dry. Now there's a lot of other bits on here that are already dry anyways, that have dried while I've been painting. This is not a required tool, but it is helpful, especially if you are not just doing this on the fly, but like if you have your own art space. Like you're not just painting on the kitchen table, right? Like on the kitchen table, when I bought this, I never used it because I had to go and find it from my art space and I had to put it away at dinner time. Oh, Kitty, are you not liking my heat gun? She's looking a little annoyed. See? She's like, what are you doing? I'm trying to sleep. She's like, I'm not having it, Mom. It's not okay. I'm sorry, honey. I'll be done soon. 15 more seconds. 15 more seconds. Okay. I'm all done. Are you okay? Yeah? Okay. All right. So that's my heat gun. Is this still wet? Nope. My finger is paint free. We are good to go. All right. So the next thing I'm going to use are, I'm definitely going to use these Stabilo pastel pencils, but I'm going to use those last because, well, second to last, because they are pastels and it's hard to put mixed media over pastels that aren't pastels. So like if you're like going in with a, pen, or you're going in with a paint marker, or you're going in with something else that you love to use, you want to save the pastels for last. They're just a harder medium to cover up. All right, let's see. I definitely think I'm going to use my crayons to start. If anyone here is familiar with the very expensive Neo 2 crayons that you buy individually or you buy for hundreds of dollars as a set, this is, someone asked me the other day, they're like, is that a knockoff? And the answer is yes, but it's fabulous and it's affordable. And for those people who really want those Neo 2s but aren't willing to pay the money for it, I think this might be at the most $25. And if you know anything about the Neo 2s, they're generally hundreds of dollars. And it comes with a collection of 25 different crayons, and these are all watercolor crayons. So what I mean by that is this actual pigment on here, if I put water on it, can be used to paint a painting. Or if I put it on paper and draw with it, I can go over it with water and blend it in a little bit more. I use it as a dry media. I like the effect. I like it on cold pressed paper. I like the texture. So I just wanted you to know that that's what these are. And that's why I use them and love them so much. I'm going to grab a couple of colors here. I think I'm going to go with definitely maybe this green, that blue-green color, maybe a yellow. Not too much yellow, though. And then pink, like this salmon pink color. And I don't know what happened to my... I had a darker purple in here, but I don't know what I did with it. Well, let's go with this for right now. I've got darker purples over here I can add on later if I want to. Okay. I'll show you how I use these. So I would take this and just kind of color it in. Let me pin it for you so you can see it. These are iCrayon water-soluble pastels. They call them pastels. I call them crayons. They are not smushable. And what I mean by that is you cannot go on here and rub them with your finger. They will not blend with your finger. They will only blend with water. So they don't act like what I would identify as a pastel-y kind of effect. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to this onion. Like that. Just to give it some like tones, like the sun is shining down on this onion. Actually, I might even put it in over here a little bit just to bring some cohesiveness. to the piece. So if there's sunshine here, there might be sunshine over here. I realized I forgot to finish painting that. Let me do that now before I forget. What did I do with my paint? Oh, it's right here. Oop. All right. Let me go in and just add a few more little lines in here just to kind of bring that cohesiveness back, because that's going to bug me while I'm working if I don't do it now. I almost always want to be done with the watercolor before I add any mixed media over the top. It's not necessary, but it's just a preference. This needs to curl around, I think. Yes. And I'm just going to darken up some of these too. Voila, voila. And don't forget, this will be available on YouTube probably tonight. Add some here too. Why not? There we go. That's a little better. I mean, I'm going to soften that up with just a little bit of water. Like that. And like that. And I'm going to add a little bit more in here too, because this seems to be a little bit shadowed anyway. So let's just add a little bit more shadow in there. There we go. And there. And there. Okay. I'm going to use my heat gun one more time. Hopefully the kitty won't be super mad at me. Here, can I go in light? Is this better for you? Now that you're good, I don't want you to leave. Don't leave. Oh, you're going to leave me now. I know it. It's not, I'm not doing anything to you. It's okay. Oh my gosh, kitties are so good at judgment. Do you see her right now? She's like, how dare you interrupt my sleep time? That's fine, you can go over there. Probably better for me anyway. Okay. So let me go back to my tools, because I think I am done. I'm done painting this guy. I'm going to add some of this peachy color. I don't know why this fly keeps coming and hanging out. Maybe he thinks my onions are beautiful and he wants to eat them. I don't know. I could use this crayon every time, all the time. I just love it. It's just so like, it's light and it's warm. I just like it a lot. I use it almost all the time on every botanical I do. Okay. And then if I want to, I could create some lines with it. Add some of this green back in here. It's just going to lighten some of this up. I never entirely color over what I painted, but I do quite a bit. Not because I dislike the painting, but because I just like the texture so much. Like sometimes I'm like, you overdid it. Why did you put so much on there? And I'm like, because I liked it. It was fun. All right, I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow in here with this blue, this gray blue. Ooh, that almost comes across as lavender, doesn't it? I like that. And again, this is not blendable. If I move my finger over this, nothing moves. Okay? Thanks for the follow, Color. Let's do some. Okay, these are done. I'm going to put these over here. And then I'm going to use some of these pastels. Okay, so these pastels come in various colors. There's a set in my shop. I will go ahead and show you that. I believe that's a little bit more expensive though. But these are nice because they're pastels with a tip. Most pastels often come in like those real chunky, round bits. But these are fun, and I think they're an extra 15% off today anyway. And you get a whole set. I think, well, what is it, 12? 8? I gotta go back and look. What does it say? There's 24. It looks like the 12 might be sold out. But yeah, 35 for the 24. And if you wait around for the next time they restock, you can get the 12. Or you can go shopping wherever you like and get the 24. But these are the ones I'm going to be using. I may not even use all of them. And these ones are blendy. So if I go ahead and add this in here and just add a little bit of darkness to the base, it will blend. You see it blending already? It does blend out a little bit more. If I put it here, you can see it. It's blending a little bit more. It's on my finger. I didn't need to give you the middle. I'm sorry. I'll put some here, just a little bit, just for the blending. Maybe even for some of the lines, and then maybe don't blend those lines. Like that. Maybe for the little bottom hairs sticking out. Maybe even up here over on the side. Or up on the top. I could even put it down here. Like that. If you use paintbrush on the pastels, it does mess it up. Yep. Because the pastels are not, these pastels are not water soluble. They're oil based. So they're not really going to do anything, but everything around it will move, and that'll be weird. So don't do that. Don't add water to these. You can add water to these. You can't add water to these. Anything that's oil is not going to move, and if it does, it's going to look wonky and weird, and I don't think you want that. Let's use some of this purple color. It just creates fun textures. I'm just going to add some more lines, and this is going to be wonky. Like, I'm just going to kind of like do weird like elliptical shapes because it just satisfies my brain to see them sometimes. And then I'm going to go back in with this yellow and do even a little bit more up here, because I already put that in with the crayon before. And then as far as like protecting this piece, you would need an oil fixative because it does have the oil on top. I don't really protect much of any of my work, to be quite honest. Probably because if I'm gonna like display it somewhere, I usually put it behind glass, or I let other people figure that out if they're going to purchase it. I just generally don't. The only time I do, and I do sometimes, is I will use this wax medium, but this wax medium is only for watercolor. It's not for oil pastels. And this is great because you can just scoop some out and then like spread a nice layer over the top of your watercolor art, and then just make sure it's a nice thin layer. I sometimes use what do you call them? I can't think of it off the top of my head. I know I have it around here somewhere. Like even if you use like a butter knife, oh, palette knife. If I were using a palette knife, I would just scrape it down and then leave it for like 24 hours. And then after 24 hours, you just go over this on your paper with a paper towel and just rub out the textures a little bit. And then you can drip anything you want on it, and the water will just bead up, which is pretty cool. I know I've done that online or on a live before, but I can probably do it again soon. I'm almost done here, guys. What I'm going to do last, and I know I said the pastels were last, but this is the last. I'm going to go in with a watercolor pencil. It's teeny tiny because it's loved. And I'm going to just do my outlines. And when I taught my in-person class on Friday night, we did sunflowers. They were all, you know, understandably, because they were new, they'd never done a lot of this stuff before. They were all feeling their feelings about their art, not loving what they did, not hating it, but not loving it. And when they added the black pencil over the top, just like I did here, they were like, oh my gosh, it's so much better. And I'm like, I know, right? I think this adds a pop to your creation in such a positive way. And because we've used all of the mixed media anyways, you could do this with ink. I do it with this pencil because it matches the mixed media I've already used. But you could definitely do it in ink. Just be careful with your ink. I have messed up so many paintings that I thought were dry and then went over it in ink. And actually, I didn't mess up the painting. I messed up the pen. The pen was not fixable after that, and that was very frustrating. So I leaned into this once I realized I could use these and started to find my happiness and my confidence with these. And it just made me happy. And I also love adding these little squiggly doodles on all of my paintings when I'm done because, I mean, look at them. They're so cute. And see, I just add on little things and I darken up spots where I feel like maybe they weren't dark enough. And then I think this is done. I don't think this needs much else. And you all get the vibe, right? Like this is a red onion. It's probably a little more red than I wanted it to be. I wonder if I have a white pastel crayon or pastel pencil. Hold on. I think I can lighten this up just a little bit. Let me see. I've done it before. I mean, I could do it with watercolor. There is a watercolor medium that you could do that with. But I would rather use a pastel pencil if I could. I just don't know if I can find it. Let me see. It's not in there. And my Stabilo pencils like this just aren't as effective that way. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use my Bear crayons. So these are my Bear crayons. All of their lids, and I just noticed it the other day, have little bear faces and tops on them. And they're just the cutest ever. Valeria, I've worked with Be Viral before, and you guys are lovely. But it ended up being a lot more work on my end than I was interested in. So if you would like to reach out to me and explain to me how it will be less work, that would be fabulous. Just not enough, what's the word I'm looking for? Not enough output for what I got back, if that makes sense. I'm going to add this in here. And I'm just going to add it to the top, and it's just going to lighten things up just a little bit. Like that. Okay. Yes, I know, Valeria. And admittedly, I wasn't going to respond because, again, I've worked with you before, and I really wasn't interested. But maybe you can convince me a little bit more. Anyhoodle, here we are. I think I'm done. I've lightened things up a little bit. I'm going to blend that out a little bit more because I don't want it to be that light over there. Over here is fine, though. It just brought some lightness back to the piece. And pow. Done and done. And here is my little red purpley onion for you today. And I am making all of my solo work this month, I've decided, is going to be primarily vegetables and or fruits. Because now everything seems to be classified as a fruit these days. So I'm definitely going to be doing both. I will be doing other things as well. Like tonight, I'm going to be painting this anglerfish with my friend Chelsea at 7 Eastern Standard Time. We're going to do tutorial style. She is, thanks Woodvale, she is going to be teaching me jellyfish, and I'm going to teach her how to do this anglerfish. And yeah, I've never done one before. It took some time, I'm not going to lie. But I think I figured it out. I worked on it again today, at least just the sketching. Here, I'll show you my sketches. My sketches turned out pretty good. So, like, because you're going to have to sketch. If you want to do it with us, you're going to have to sketch. So, like, these are the big shapes that I kind of started off with, like minor detail, right? And then I've got on the back me working out a little bit more of the details, right? Just making sure everybody knows what's happening. And then this is my super detailed sketch. And they all turned out really good. So I think as long as we can all sketch together first, I think we can make this work. And we'll use lots of mixed media too. And that's tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, of course, this is what I'm doing as a solo. So Chelsea and I are doing random like tutorials every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then occasionally I'll hop onto someone else's live and paint with them. But as a solo artist, this is my vote. This is my focus this month are going to be these veggies or fruits. I promised myself I would try and create a collection. So here we are. Oh, thank you, Paula. I appreciate it. And thanks for the follow, Wendy. That's so kind. Hey, CJ. Oh, I love the Heart Me's too. Guys, if you are not using the Heart Me system for your own posts and for your friends, please do so, because honestly, it's the only thing in TikTok that I found that is entirely give and get. Like, you support your people. Oh, thank you so much. You support your people, they support you back. And it's one of those things where just hearting me somebody's live will get you participation points from TikTok that will push your content out too. I found last week when I like participated in everyone's TikTok live that I liked. Now, I wasn't doing this with people I could care less about, but like the artists that I liked, the nature people that I liked, the people with Boston Terriers that I liked, I would go on to their live. I would heart me. It only cost a coin. And then I would comment and I would get a whole bunch of participation points. And it really pushed out some of my content last week. It was really nice. So if you're a content creator and you're here to kind of like give and get, that is a really good way to go. Otherwise, if you're just here to follow, I just love that you're here and I love that you're hanging. And thanks so much for helping me reach my goal. It's so awesome. I appreciate you all very, very much. And I'll be back tonight. So if you're not busy tonight and want to come back and see this guy in action, please join us. And bang your, how do you heart me? Ocean City. Go to the top of your screen. You should see a red-orange heart. If you click it, you should see underneath, join my fan club. So you can join my fan club and that will give you access to Heart Me's. And then in doing so, every time you come on and comment, and just commenting will give you credit back by being in my fan club. And it will give you credit back if you want to push content out. If you don't want to push content out, it does, it does not too much for you. I think it's more for content creators, but I love it and I think it's awesome. And I'm hoping to kind of move along in that way, that maybe we can start doing subscribers and all that kind of good stuff, and it might end up supporting people that way, but I haven't figured all that out yet. So, but again, this is tonight. I will be back, not tomorrow. Tomorrow my husband has surgery, so I probably won't be here tomorrow live. And then, yeah, no problem, Ocean City at all. And obviously that's if you have like coins to spend and all that kind of good stuff. And if you don't, just come and hang. Like, obviously you're here now without any of that stuff, so you must be getting something from it. And that's the most important part, is that you yourself are walking away from these lives gaining something, whether it's knowledge or suggestions or ideas for your own personal art journey. That's what we're all here for. We're all here to kind of create this community and, find happiness in our art and know that it's accessible to everyone. If I could oh, thank you, Sandy. If I had one goal in being on here, it was to make people understand that anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. This is very accessible. It may not look exactly like mine, but that's okay. It takes time. It takes time to get to where I'm at. I've been doing this for 5 years, and I'm fairly confident with this at this point. But I couldn't have promised you in the moment when I started that I was going to be happy with the result. I'm not always happy with the result, and that's okay. And my husband, I'm sure he'll be fine. But, it's just something that's going to keep me away from here tomorrow. So, and I have to go get my teeth cleaned. So that's also very important. All right, guys, I'm going to turn this off and scoot and go pick up my kidlings and maybe crochet a little bit before this evening's adventures with deep sea creatures. All right, guys, I will see you again soon. Have a great day.